we talked about the journey, not the destination. Right. So the journey versus the destination tonight, how does that come into play?
Yeah, I'm sure, when we get back home, there'll be opportunities to look back and kind of reflect on all the things that transpired this past season. I don't know that anybody's sitting around right now feeling, all that, but I think that'll be pretty up front and center at some point. Right now, it's kind of back there somewhere. When you get here, you're like really incredibly excited to be here, incredibly proud that you got here, especially under the circumstances that we got here. But then once you're here, you want to win. And then when you don't win it, it's crazy that 40 minutes can wipe out 5 months of stuff that you really, are passionate about, that you did great. But that's the nature of sports, and that's the beauty of it.
At halftime, you had really played yourselves back. You got it within 8 at halftime.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the state of the game at that point? Anything you're willing to share about what you said at halftime?
Yeah, I thought when we got it to single digits, and we got it to 8, I thought we had started to get a little bit of momentum, and we needed, when we talked about it at halftime, we needed a little bit of more flow in our offense. We needed to tighten up some things, defensively. And those, again, the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game, and then the first 4 minutes of the second half, they almost were the deciding factors in the game. You take out those, those first 5 minutes, and you take out the first 4 minutes. You take out that 9 minutes, and the other 31 minutes, it was like, here and there, we got a shot, they got a shot, but we just couldn't get the rebound we had to get, couldn't make the 3 we had to make. We never got to the free throw line, which is something that if you can't do, the pressure on you to make shots is it's too great.
They had taken 15 shots and you had only taken 4 at the beginning.
Yeah.
That was like the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, and they actually took 7, but they got 8 offensive rebounds. So I think that's how they got the 15. And that was something we were afraid was going to happen. We said, well, you need, every time we've come here and we've won, we've had great contributions from our big guys. You can't win if you don't get it. At either end, you got to get it one end or the other. And we knew that was going to be a struggle today, but the way Henderson played too, that was something that we knew couldn't happen. Like we can understand the other stuff, but having one of their guards go off for 26, that's probably where we weren't very good.
Geno, we've seen you after this final game. You are always excited, motivated, talking about next season at the end of this. That was true 11 other times. I remember after Stewie's senior year, you were physically moving toward next season as you were talking about the excitement. And just now, when you were asked about next season, it's the same thing. What drives you to be that excited about the next day at the end of a season, especially a season like this?
It gets harder, to be honest with you. It gets harder to, anticipate what can happen the following season, because it's a different world now. You have so many variables that go into how a team is put together. You used to have a pretty good idea. This is the team we have. This is the team we're going to have, and nothing's going to change that. It's too much different. There's too many things different now. But as I said in there, right away, you start thinking about the number of freshmen and sophomores that we played today, and played a lot of minutes, and really got an education today and what it takes to win at this level. And I remember being in that situation a bunch of years ago, and we lost with a bunch of young kids, and we came back and won it the following year. So you cross your fingers and you hope that the lessons that we're learning this weekend, carry over into, May, June, July, and throughout the rest of the year.
Caroline played awfully well as part of that.
Yeah.
And you even went with DeBerry there for a second.
Yeah.
She gave you a couple minutes.
She did. She's a fun kid to have around, and I'm disappointed that she didn't take it as seriously as she could have all year long. I think sometimes freshmen come in and they look around and they go, okay, well, this is the year that I'm actually going to learn everything I need to know, and then next year I'm really going to be that player. And I was really hoping that she would, because she has so much to give, and I had told her when we got here this weekend, I said, if I put you in, are you going to pee yourself? What are you going to do? And she just started laughing because I wanted to just break the ice a little bit, And she goes, no, I'm ready. And I'm thinking, how can you be ready? You haven't hardly even played. And so then I said, listen, I'm serious. Okay, if you get in, I need you to really play. She goes, I'll be ready, don't worry. So she's got this great attitude. She's got this great skill set. And, she's already committed to being there all summer long to work on her game. And I'm excited about what she's going to do for us next year.
And Caroline,
the same thing. Caroline hasn't been the same since those 3 games where she got hit 3 games in a row, really bad. And all the tests came back negative, but that didn't mean Caroline was fine, So she hasn't been the same. And today was the first time she looked somewhat like the player that we had seen
She
for the
wasn't.
majority of the
She
season.
wasn't afraid at all. She
Do we
was.
have time for one more question?
No, I think there was a point in time during the season when, she was carrying us a lot. And then after those collisions, I think she got a little bit skittish about going in the lane, about attacking more. And I think she proved, that she could play on this stage.
You talked a lot during the year that you did not do a good job coaching this team. Through March and the way you made this run to the championship, do you feel any different? And how will you approach the postseason with the 2 freshmen coming in and looking at the transfer portal?
As I said, you never know what your team's going to look like the following year. And yeah, there were points in this season where I was really disappointed in myself about, how I was handling things. But that's every year. Every year, I think as a coach, I always try to figure out where am I missing? What am I missing right now? But we always seem to come together in March. We always kind of pull everything together in March, and it always seems to, all those lessons come together, and we're a really good March team. And I was just crossing my fingers and hoping that would happen.
Yeah, Geno, do you target them?
We have to go.
Hold on.
Do you target them as the team you have to match up with? And you have to get players that can match up with what they're going to have coming back?
Yeah, I mean, they're in the same situation. They have a lot of players coming back. But, so did Stanford last year, have everybody coming back from their championship team. This particular South Carolina team was the best one they've had, I think. What does that mean for next year? I don't know, but if you go into next season thinking they're probably going to be in your way at some point if you want to win the whole thing. And you look at the makeup of your team and the makeup of the other teams around the country, and you go, what are we missing? And what are our strengths? And then you try to address those, in the off season. That's what we've always done, and that's what we're going to do.